Okay, so what we've done so far, just to kind of recap some of the stuff that we've had from Noah's Inquest so far. Yes, the day before was really frustrating for me because I kept thinking at some point they were going to try and blame it on certain factors. And when I found out the PSNI were being represented there as well by solicitors, it kind of annoyed me because I thought, well, you've already had 6 years to solve this case and you've not fucking done it. And now you're in the inquest again, trying to push a narrative about this fucking book and trying to make it sound like he wasn't a mentally of sound mind. Fiona's definitely kicked back at that on social media and said, why are you focusing on one book he was reading at the time when he'd read hundreds of books and he actually had a favourite book? It wasn't his favourite book. So I know Fiona was feeling that way as well from just some of the posts she's put on social media. But we have started to pull back now towards the actual people that saw him on that day. And everyone coming in. Yeah, Alana, it was really annoying me because I said to the mods, I think, oh, you're in the mod group. After Tuesday, I was like, oh, this inquest is pissing me off. Like, they're concentrating on stuff that's not needed. Like, what book he was reading, and does it mean that he felt this way and this way? And it just makes me feel really fucking icky that they're doing it. But what I'm going to do first of all, actually, is I'm going to show you a video because we're going to talk a lot about the storm drain and stuff today. So I'm going to play you one of Fiona's own videos. If you've been in it all week, you would have seen it, but if you haven't been, you wouldn't have. Let me just get it up on TikTok. Just because then when you're... I always forget that if you've never had Noah's case before, you probably haven't even known... No, I haven't, LJ. Send me the information if you see it. What's he commented? I didn't realise that the boy that's been stabbed recently near Guildford is only 5 miles from Martin Costa's house, and he's really struggling with that. He just put on my... I'm only showing that because he's put it on my actual face on my TikTok, so you'd read the comment. Let me just go. Sorry, being poorly today is really... My head's not working. Fiona and Noah. So I'm going to show you the inside of the storm drain, which Fiona posted. Has she taken it down? Oh, she's taken it down. Oh no, here it is. So this is inside the storm drain. So I'm going to show you this, and I'll show you what one actually just looks like before we talk about it, just to make sure that everyone understands what we are talking about. So Noah was afraid of the dark, right? No. He was terrified of the dark. You can't see nothing.
Outcome just about 55 metres from where Noah entered. And I can't imagine how foreboding this must have been for him. In the dark, lonely, naked, scared and anxious. And it's just hard to imagine what he was going through.
And remember, he didn't have his phone on at this point, and he didn't have a flashlight.
This is a moment for a prayer.
You can't see nothing. Thank you, Jacqueline. So you can see that it's just pitch black. No, I'm in pitch black. So you can see it's pitch black. Now, Fiona has always maintained that Noah is terrified of the dark, that he would never have got into anywhere, running or not, he would have tried to go anywhere else. We know at the point they got into the storm drain, he already had no clothes on. From the outside, just to explain to you what a storm drain looks like so you can see, images. Okay, I want to find one, the one Noah was in. So this is the actual one from... So it looks like this from the outside. So under this grate here would be the tunnel part. So you would have to lift up the grate and then the tunnel would be inside with the water. It's supposed to be locked at all times so that no one can enter the storm drains. Hi, Anya. So just to give you guys a little bit of kind of background information, because when I first heard Noah's case and I kind of was doing the case, in my head a storm drain was something completely different. I was thinking of like a culvert, which is very similar to kind of like a culvert in America. And I was thinking, I don't understand how he's got into this thing. So it's always better to have the information. I'm good, Anya. I'm glad you're good as well. So I want to go back to, okay, so we want to go to the last bit of Wednesday first, because Wednesday was the day that we kind of break, didn't we, when it was the lunch break. Okay, so let me go back to Leslie. Hello there, Leslie. Sorry about that. Okay, so yesterday we had kind of gone into speaking to his friend again, Charlie, and they had kind of, he had said, look, Noah was in a really good place. He'd had one sad day, he'd listened to music. You know, he did want us to read that book, but he always read books kind of thing. And his friend reiterated there was nothing about Noah at that time that made me believe that he didn't want to be here, that he was sad. So yesterday we then went on to two witnesses who had seen Noah. One who had seen him, three witnesses actually. One who had seen him, and put the map up. So one who had seen him up near, all the three witnesses from yesterday all saw him up near number 5. So Noah would ultimately end up at number 6. He left his house down number 1. And all these witnesses were around number 5. There was, a lady had seen him on his bike, fall off his bike and get back onto his bike. She said she didn't think he'd hurt himself seriously. It looked like someone had maybe put something, like he'd got something caught in his stick, he'd gone over the handlebars, but he had got straight back on his bike. The second woman said that she saw him get back on his bike, but she didn't see the fall, and she had beeped to Noah to say, look, you've dropped your coat on the floor. And he just carried on going and left the coat on the floor, the jacket. So, and then we had a man come forward who said, oh, I saw a black person on a bike, and which is very helpful, and said that he had seen Noah. And all of these witnesses were before Noah kind of started like taking his clothes off. They only saw him with a jacket on the floor, and it was the jacket that he didn't pick up. So now we're going into kind of after the lunch break. So I'm going back to 2 o'clock, so after the hearing resumed. So in a statement, Mrs. Seenan said that she believes that Noah may have had something fall on his bike after maybe something got stuck in his wheel. Mr. Seenan said that she did not tell police she saw Noah hit his head and have a head injury, so now she said, well, actually, I never said that. She said she was a bit miffed that had been reported that Noah may have had a head injury because she had never said this to police, and this is very interesting because we've always believed that he fell off his bike and had a head injury. So now it's said that Noah did, she never saw this. The hearing has had that Noah suffering a head injury was a theory police had put forward as to why he fell off his bike, why he stripped off his clothes, why he may have gone. They always said he was kind of concussed and he'd made all these actions afterwards because he wasn't thinking clearly. Messina said that in the police statement saying Noah may have suffered a head injury was not consistent with what she had said, which shows again Pierce and I have answers here. They have reported always in the media and to Fiona that, look, somebody said he had a head injury and we think it's because that's why he's acted all concussed and he's gone into the storm drain and drowned. And she's saying, no, I did never say this. I said that he fell off his bike, got on very quickly. It didn't look like he'd hurt himself. He was wearing a helmet. Like it didn't appear that he'd done any kind of injury. He got straight on and rid off. An investigation report from senior investigating officers has been shown to the hearing, which has a theory regarding having a head injury did come from Mrs. Seenan's statement to police. Miss Seenan maintains she never told the police this. And this is, I believe her. I believe her. She has sat in an inquest with legal people and if the PS and I are there with their solicitors, I absolutely believe her that she never said this. This is Noah Donohoe. Does anyone else have any reason to doubt that she said this? Because the police always went forward from the very beginning, like, oh, someone saw him really hurt his head, he had concussion, and now she's saying, hang on a minute, you've got a statement there saying I said something I didn't say, which then straight away they need to reinvestigate this whole thing. Are you on the flake? Yes, Cadbury's flake, vanilla ice cream, banana split. Thank you for coming in when we talk about a child. Well done you. Mr. Seenan has stopped giving evidence and her son Jaden has now taken the stand. Jaden has told the hearing he is 11 years of age when he saw Noah fall from his bike and gave a statement to police a few days later. So this is her son. So this will be very interesting. He was only 11 at the time. A police report from Jaden's statement says he believed that something may have gotten stuck in Noah's wheel, but Jaden's told the hearing he did not see Noah fall off his bike. So now we have two statements that Pierce and I have said that both this mother and son have seen this. No, so Hayley, normally from my experience, if police come up to your house and take like a paper statement, you just kind of initial it and they take the statement. They don't bring recorders and all of that lot normally with them. Pierce and I have completely fucked this over and covered it up. So now her son is saying, no, I told police I assumed he'd fallen off his bike because I saw his coat on the floor, but I never said I saw a crash. I didn't see nothing. In this case, they took statements and there's no recording of them. Jaden Seenan has now finished giving his evidence. That's all he wanted to say. So it's the police of Scotland. As Miss Smith told police she saw a cyclist removing their helmet as they cycled past her Northwest Crescent home. So this is very important. Northern Ireland Police, yeah. Miss Smith told police she was sitting in her living room and she saw a cyclist pass by her window and he appeared to be taken off his helmet. She told the hearing that later that day, as she left her house to go to church, she saw the helmet on the floor next to a lamppost. The hearing also heard that Miss Smith had wrote a letter to the coroner asking to be excused from giving evidence as she did not feel like her evidence would be helpful. I think there's some fear here, especially from the people around this particular street, which is the Northwood Crescent. I do believe that if police, though, Sheza, want to in any way falsify documentation, it's very easy for them to do so. For the last 6 years, we've believed that at least 2 people had seen Noah fall from his bike and had claimed he had some kind of head injury. Now she's coming forward and saying, no, I never said he had no head injury. Didn't happen. I saw him come off his bike and get straight back on and he seemed fine. Yeah, I feel like when you write to be excused, like even that little bit of evidence that she's just said then that she saw him take off his helmet, that's very vital because we know it's the period where he starts stripping off his clothes. So for her to ask to be excused. Now, from what we believe in Belfast, kind of the way everything is situated, we would believe the people of Northwood Crescent have a kind of a lot of information. Because it was the storm drain area. It's also the area right next to where the later graffiti would be, the block of flats, which are very important. Let me just see, LJ, if I can I follow you back just to make sure that if you message, you got to accept it, just so you can send me stuff. So she asked to be excused. Miss Smith says she saw a cyclist pass her window for 3 to 5 seconds, did not see where he went after that. She says the cyclist has not been moving fast and she thought he may have been too warm, which is why he was attempting to remove his helmet. When she later saw was a helmet on the floor, she questioned as to why he would drop it there. Miss Smith has said she was unaware that there was even a storm drain beside her house. She said she had no idea. So she's in Northwood Crescent and the storm drain's in Northwood Road. Oh yeah, I've got a lot of time for Shep, to be fair, Linda. I just judge people on how I see them and how they are to me, and she was really decent to me. I'm glad she got Life Pro. What she does with the animals is really important. Miss Smith has told the hearing that the helmet she saw beside the lamppost remained there until the following morning, after first seeing it around 6:10 on June the 21st. So she saw it there that night and the following morning. A video of Miss Smith speaking to BBC journalists has been played to the court. In the interview, Miss Smith speculates that she thinks Noah may have taken off his helmet because it was broken. She said she did not see anyone near Noah. Witness Christoph Kawasaki has taken the stand and said he told police on September the 6th, 2023, he had seen a boy without a top on Northwood Road. In a later statement to police, he said he had not seen anyone else in the area at the time. During the hearing, he cannot remember if he saw a cyclist riding a bike or just a boy without his top on. Thank you for popular. Mr. Kozowacik said he was unaware of the police appeal regarding Noah going missing in the media. His poor mum still... I've got so much time for Fiona, honestly. Mr. Kawasaki was shown CCTV of him turning his Audi A6 into the cul-de-sac on Northwood Road. The CCTV shows a pair of feet in the corner of the screen. Mr. Kawasaki told police he had not seen anyone in the street other than the cyclist. So then we could see that he's here and there's feet in the corner and the Noah's in front. So he's saying there was no one else there, but there is obviously at least another pair of feet. Thank you for all the gifts to help with the competition, guys. So the hearing ends on that day, and now we're going to go into today's inquest, which I've left it late enough that we'll get the whole day in. And just to reiterate, because this is Noah Donohoe, it's been unsolved for 6 years. My child are massive followers of his mum. We think she's amazing. And this is the map again, just for people, just like get the next day up, just because number 1 is where he left his house. He was supposed to be going to see his friends, which he actually wasn't going to do. We now know. He left at number 1. Then we know that he is spotted along these areas. Brilliant, thank you, Beth. And this 610 here at the top was Northwood Road, and the witness we just got to then saw him that day in his Audi. So we know that people have started to see now these witnesses. So let me just thank you everyone for the populars and the koala bears. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of today. Okay, Belfast Telegraph. Okay, so I'm just going to reiterate what it says here about Wednesday. So Wednesday was yesterday, and I'm just going to reiterate what they said about what happened the whole day of Wednesday, in case you missed the morning bit when we did the kind of live yesterday. So it says, on Wednesday, the inquest heard from a number of witnesses who saw Noah on the day of his disappearance. This includes a driver, Amanda Seenan, who saw Noah fall from his bike on North Queen Street in North Belfast. She raised concerns about a statement she had made to police, which led the force to create a theory that Noah had suffered a head injury during the fall. She told the inquest she never said to police that she thought that Noah had a head injury. She never said that he had suffered a head injury. Another witness, Beryl Smith, told the hearing that she had seen Noah pass the window of her home on Northwood Crescent and appeared to be removing his helmet, while another witness, Christoph Kawasaki, had said he'd seen the teen on Northwood Road without a top on. So now we're going to go into the witness testimony of Karen Crooks. Okay. So the first witness of the day today at 10:52 was Karen Crooks. She took the stand in a statement made to police on the 1st of July 2020. In a statement, she said she was in her Northwood Road home on June 21st when she looked out of her bedroom window to the road around 6:30 p.m. after hearing people talking, and saw a bike on the road behind her car, which she thought was strange. A few hours later, around 7:45 p.m. to 8 p.m, the bike was still there, and she went out and moved it and set it against a wall. When she returned home from work the next day at 5 p.m, the bike was still there, so she took a picture of it with the intention to post it onto social media. As she was going to do so, she saw the missing person report for Noah and realised the bike matched the description and rang the police. She did not see who had left the bike at the time. Now that's very interesting as well, that at 6:30 she heard voices outside, someone talking. Now that would at least make me believe, if I was upstairs, there was raised voices, or at least some kind of conversation going on, that you could hear it from your bedroom window. And as people have always said, Noah was absolutely alone. You would wonder what this conversation was and who the people were talking. She said she was aware of the streams at the rear of her home and the storm drain at the rear of the property of 85 Northwood Road. She said she did not have access to the storm drain and was not aware if anyone else did other than the agency. The gate at the side of her house led towards a stream and storm drains, with Miss Crooks saying it had a bolt on it and could be easily accessed. The court heard that Miss Crooks found Noah's bike around 30 minutes after he is supposed to have left Northwood Road. So it'd be about 45 minutes, wouldn't it? If she first discovered the bike around 7:45 outside, she'd gone out, but she had heard voices around 6:30. So the hearing has heard that a number of properties have access to the waste ground where the storm drain was located. However, someone would have to trespass through these properties to access the area due to there being a metal gate around it. So do I. I really have high hopes for her. The hearing has heard that what has been referred to as a storm drain at the rear of the property is a culvert. So it was a culvert that had a debris screen on it. Ms. Crooks has been asked if she was aware the Department for Infrastructure checked the debris screen and culvert every week. A BBC interview Karen Crooks did with an evening extra has been read to the hearing. In the interview, Miss Crooks described the storm drain and says she thought the grate on it would not have allowed a child to get into it. However, her 5-year-old son had told her he managed to fit in the grate. Your 5-year-old son told you that he managed to? Like... In BBC interview, Miss Crooks said that the police were always around the storm drain in the days following Noah's disappearance. How did they not know he was there then? Like, the Pearson and I have so much going on here and so much corruption. Like, they were always around the storm drain for the 6 days he was missing. Like, why were you always around it unless you knew he was in there? Makes no sense. Why were you always around it? I can't make that make sense. Witness was not aware if there was a lock on the storm drain. Miss Crooks said that she believed the access hatch on the grate of the storm drain had a lock on it, but was not aware if it did or did not, as she had not been down to it in a number of years. Counsel for the DFL has asked if she was aware of why it would not have a lock on, and she said, "I would have no idea why not. It would not have a lock on." I don't know why you're asking her. She's just a normal person who lives in the house. I wouldn't have any idea about storm drains. 100%, John. Miss Crooks has been shown CCTV and dashcam footage of Northwood Road in the minutes after Noah left his bike in the area. Witness showed pictures of access route to stream and culvert behind the Northwood Road properties. Counsel for Fiona Donohoe, Brenda Campbell, was asking Miss Crooks about the pictures showing the access route to the stream and the culvert behind her and her neighbours' properties. Miss Crooks has told the hearing that prior to Noah's death, she assumed the grate around the culvert would have been safe for children to be near, as it had been built by a government body. She absolutely does. She said she was never warned it could be dangerous for children to be near. No, not battling anything. Miss Crooks has been shown CCTV footage of Northwood Road. I don't want to battle, leave me alone. Sorry, I've got to turn these battles off. Right. She's been shown CCTV footage of Northwood Road in the minutes prior to Noah being seen and dropping his bike. A pair of feet can be seen in the top right corner of the screen, and Miss Crooks has asked if she knew who it was whose feet were in the corner of the CCTV. She says she did not see. So we go to lunch. A house-to-house questionnaire carried out by the police at the property of Northwood Road said that Noah's trainers were found outside of 61 Northwood Road. Another questionnaire of Northwood Road residents said they saw Noah take his top off and place it on a wall. I always wonder why nobody questioned this. Like, if you're looking out your window and you see a kid taking off his trainers, he's taken off his top, he's put his bike down, he's put his helmet down, at some point are you not going to think, like, what's happening here? Like, is he actually okay? And we know that these questionnaires, thank you guys for all the taps and stuff, at this point we know that there was many people that saw very strange things going on and no one questioned. And that's why I always say to you guys, if you see something, say something, because who knows what could have happened here? Like, and Noah could still be here. So this is important. Residents heard noises in the early hours of the morning that Noah went missing. A Northwood Road residents told police in a questionnaire they heard 3 noises at 1:30 a.m. that night. The noises were recorded on the document as eek and erg. Random. Unfortunately, I know. I would say that we would be looking at 1:30 if those noises being made. Perhaps the stress of carrying a body. Personally, a witness has told Donohoe Inquest she was not aware of any reports of noises or torches being used in the area close to where the schoolboy's body was found the night before, but other people have said they saw torches being used around the back of that area, which I think is very important. Why would you ask her about, did she see any torches or voices being in the early hours of the morning? And I think most people have the theory that Noah perhaps drowned somewhere else and was taken to that area, which then we'd have to look at this 1:30 in the morning where people are making noises such as ugh, as if they're carrying someone. And there's lights. Karen Crooks, a resident of Northwood Road in Belfast, continued to give evidence. Brenda Campbell, barrister for Noah's mother, asked a witness if she was aware of a neighbour hearing noise at the back of the house around 1:30 the night before Noah went missing. So at 1:30 the night before. So there was someone around the storm drains that night. You've got to think about, was this pre-planned? Miss Crooks said she was not. They said, did you hear any noises? She said she did not. The barrister asked if she was aware that people were using torches around the back of that area that night. Yes, they are saying there was torches and noises coming from behind the storm drain that night. That has to be answered. A witness reported to police that after seeing Noah on Northwood Road, they saw a car a short time later speeding down the road with 2 people inside. The witness told the police these 2 people looked like they were looking for something or someone. So we have Noah going into a road, coming off his bike, panicking, going into a road on his bike, and then we have a car speeding down the street just afterwards with 2 men inside, looking, 2 people inside, speeding down that same road. Just after the last sighting of Noah, it says here. A witness has told the Donohoe Inquest that she saw the schoolboy riding his bike naked on the evening he went missing. Sex offender, Ali. A witness told Noah Donohoe's inquest she saw the schoolboy riding his bike naked on the evening he went missing. Kay Fraser said she was at her partner's house in Northwood Road in Belfast on the evening of the 21st when she saw a male riding a bike past the house at the top of the cul-de-sac. Her statement was read to the court and it said he was totally naked. I thought he was a man who had too much to drink on Father's Day and was having a prank. He was tall, had an afro hairstyle and was black. He was sitting down cycling and did not appear to be distressed, although he was cycling very quickly. I got up and went to the window and looked out, but he was away. I thought he must have gone into one of the houses. I could see grey shorts with white boxes in them. On the floor. A few doors down, I could see a jumper over the wall and a pair of trainers placed neatly against the wall. Miss Fraser said she could see Noah's bike lying on the road in the cul-de-sac. This day is very important in the inquest. If you just listen to everything I'm saying here and what that adds up to without me speculating, this is crazy. That this has never before been out in the public and they stuck to the trauma of the head theory. Witness then said she saw 2 men talking to people on Northwood Road after seeing Noah. Kay Fraser said she saw 2 people talking to someone at a property on Northwood Road shortly after seeing Noah. She did not know who they were and said she could not see that far. Are these the men in the car looking for someone? CCTV played of a car arriving on Northwood Road beside where Noah left his bike. Kerry Fraser has been shown CCTV of a car arriving Northwood Road beside where Noah left his bike. They pulled up next to his bike. It appears to show 2 men leaving the vehicle with one taking an item from the back seat, which appears to be something like flowers. The men returned to the vehicle and left the area after just 5 minutes. And that's where they broke today. They broke with that. This is getting very interesting. And I think the most alarming fact that we've got from today, apart from there seems to be 2 men and feet in different pictures and stuff, where we've always been told no was completely, I don't know, Charlotte. It could also be a ruse, couldn't it? If I want to walk around an area or knock on doors and I'll just take flowers, it could be anything at this point. The other thing that's come out is Miss Seenan, who has said, I never told the police that he had a head injury. I don't know why. I'm furious that you've allowed everyone to believe all these years that he had a head injury because I said it, because I didn't. I've not said that in any statement, which shows the PSNI again are lying, and they are willing to falsify statements because we always believe that, and Fiona has always been told that. So I just want to put this up for people who maybe don't know the story so much, or the I think we're moving much. Tuesday and Monday gave me a really bad feeling about what they were trying to do with the inquest, but today has really, really reopened my hope. Really reopened my hope. I also think the fact PSNI was seen around that storm drain several times in the week that he was missing, and people around the back of the storm drain the night before with torches and talking. This really builds up to a picture here. I really hope Fiona is absolutely feeling that finally she's having her voice heard and people are finally listening to what's happened here. No, people say they thought because it was Father's Day that it was some kind of Father's Day prank, because we've always known that they didn't phone the police because the police service in Northern Ireland. So PSNI, that's exactly what it stands for, Police Service of Northern Ireland. And we've seen their work in other cases as well, like Lisa Dorian, who, by the way, someone should be behind bars right now and should have been for the last 20 years. However, they're not. It's I feel like obviously this is Fiona's last shot at truth, and she knows that her lawyer has made. Thank you for going to his blue release. Like, honestly, I love Fiona with all my heart. She's such a Trojan of a woman. She's such a fighter. Michelle, I believe that has a ring to truth to it. I believe a lot of people have come forward, and I believe people local to that area know exactly what's happened. I believe that PSNI know exactly what happened, and I believe that it's time that Noah was heard. It's time that we there's some justice here. And I know the graffiti hinted that Noah had been drowned in a bath in a nearby block of flats and then placed in the storm drain. The thing is, Sammy, when you say the locals are wrong for not speaking up, he's a child. For people who live where we live, I take it you're from England, we will never understand what it's like to live in Belfast, what it's like to live in that fear, what happens to grasses, what happens to people that come forward. You have your own children, you have to protect yourself. It's not for local people to keep coming forward and putting their lives in danger when actually, 100% you need to be hit from there to understand. When I covered John George's case, it became very real to me, like the death threats, the things people say to you about your children, things being blown up, cars being burnt out. You have a choice to live and keep your kids safe. It's not the same as here. We see the witnesses here saying, "Can I not come to the inquest, please?" And let me tell you that both sides have absolutely fought for Noah. And they've searched and they've gone forward and they've come out and said, look, if someone from here has taken him, someone here has done something to this little boy, you better come forward. Like, they've backed it all the way. And they put blue hearts in, they come in and they absolutely want justice for Noah, but it's not for them to put their lives in danger to get the justice. When, if you notice PSNI are being corrupt in a case, are you going to come forward and speak to the PSNI? Because I wouldn't. If this woman here has come forward and said, after 6 years, you've lied. My statement didn't say you had a head injury. You lied. I never said it. Strong as anything, I did not say that. That means I can go into the PSNI. They're not going to keep it secret. The people they're protecting, they're going to tell exactly who came into the station and gave that statement. So you absolutely, she's very brave, but you have to keep yourself safe. And Fiona understands all that as well. She understands. CCTV went missing. All those things happened. There's so much corruption. You're not safe just going in to speak to the police, because if they want the right people to know, it will happen. So everybody in Belfast, I believe, well, 99.9% of the people want justice for Noah Donohoe. And they are absolutely watching this, praying for this. Everybody knows the PSNI are corrupt, and they absolutely want to see justice for this little boy who actually had so much potential, would have gone on to do amazing things. His bond with his mother is beautiful. So we know he fell off his bike briefly. He had a helmet on. He got back up of his bike. I think there's something in the fact that two people alerted justice, alerted Noah to the fact that his bike was still on the floor. His coat was on the floor, sorry. And one even beeped at him and said, your coat's on the floor, and he still just kept going. That tells me he wasn't going backwards, he was going forwards. He was getting away from something, and that's my opinion. I believe that we are literally, the people of Belfast are so strong, honestly. They're so strong, got so much time for the people of Belfast. But even for me covering cases, like sometimes I get a case in Belfast and I'm like, I can't cover that because it's just not safe. And I'm in England, it's not safe. When I covered John George's case, I got death threats, they were going to blow up my house, they were going to kill my dog, kill my kids at the park. It was awful. And these people live there on the doorstep. You can't get involved. You know, you have to think of yourself. We're not wrecking the court case at all. We're talking exactly what was at the inquest. Actually, on your little account, Fiona follows me. I follow Fiona. I've got a lot of time for her. I just want. I feel like we're getting close to the truth coming out, and I think when people come forward in this inquest and they start saying, like, I never said that in my statement, this is what I saw, this is what I saw, eventually everyone's going to have everything that adds up to what happened. Yeah, I believe so. Thank you, Yaz. Did you say he was removing his shoes top? So they said that in the the questionnaire they did, that someone saw his trainers at number 61 Northwood. I don't know if he was seen removing them. Someone saw him with no top on. They didn't see him remove his top, from what we know now, and somebody did see him remove his helmet. So we're kind of just starting to hear. I can't say what I think happened at the moment, Sharma, because it'll be speculation halfway through the inquest. What I will say is I do believe it's a murder. I don't think this just was a boy who rode to an area he'd never been to before, found a storm drain that even people who lived in that road didn't know was there, and then decided, despite being terrified of the dark, that he would climb up into that storm drain naked and just wait to die. The water that comes up in that storm drain is about this deep, so he'd have to have really laid there and kind of tried to drown, and he was found face up. So I just don't know how he managed to drown. The storm drain is literally. He also went really far up into the storm drain on his back, despite being scared of the dark. And like I just showed that video from Fiona's page, the storm drain was absolutely dark and it was pitch black, and he was scared of yes, Gavin, and he was terrified of the dark. He was terrified of the dark. I don't know, Irish girl. I don't know how. I don't know if anyone here locally knows like what happened for them to check the storm drain. We have the woman here saying that she saw the PSNI around that storm drain pretty much constantly throughout Noah being missing. So you would think if you were at that storm drain, your main reason would be to search the storm drain area. They got a phone call, okay. So that to me is really worrying, that you were searching the storm drain but you didn't find his body in the storm drain. So it took 6 days to find Noah. 6 days. They got a phone call. That would tell you a lot then. Hey, Nana Banana, but why would you be around that storm drain if not to find? Apparently they checked it multiple times. This is what I mean. It's strange, isn't it? Really strange.